Summersoffians, we have such an exciting announcement to make this pre-4th of July Independence Day spectacular. So we did this podcast in coordination with one of my college best friends, Andrew Heller. I don't know what his middle name is, but we'll pretend that's what it is. And Andrew is just a movie aficionado. I love him. He
knows way more about stuff than we do.
Yeah, for sure. He was asking us questions on his podcast. I was like, oh, that's a great question I never even considered. So he's just a great dude, just a wealth of knowledge. He's such a joy to be around. Well, the reason we're bringing this up is because this podcast is actually being done in coordination with his podcast, which is called Fat Dude Digs Flicks. Flicks with a CKS. And is a fantastic podcast. Definitely give it a listen. But we do an Independence Day episode with him on his podcast.
Yeah.
Rach, do you want to give the listeners anything like that they could expect from that podcast?
We had such a fun time. If you want to just hear more about Ty and Andy as college kids and then hear us all swoon over the epic that is Independence Day, it's a must listen. I would say listen to both of these episodes.
Yeah.
Because I think you need... This movie deserves 2 podcasts about it.
Wow.
It really does. I'm just hot spoiler there. This deserves it all.
So definitely give Fat Dude Digs Flicks a listen. It will already be dropped by the time you're listening to this podcast, and we definitely support Andy and everything he does. He is the love of our lives, and I hope you guys go check it out. But for now, enjoy this episode of Independence Day Summers Off.
Welcome to Earth.
Ooh. Is that pretty good, fireworks?
It took me 2 rounds of it, but I got it.
And
I got it.
The funny thing is, for Rach, she even got hand gestures.
Yeah.
You got gesticulation. Oh, okay. The whistlers. Do the whistles. Do the ones that are really... No, the ones that are really screeching. No, it's more like...
You just did that in your own ear. I have never heard a firework sound like that.
No, they're all right. The screechers. They hurt your ears.
Yeah, that did do the job. It's not that.
It is.
If I heard
It was
a firework sound like that, I would run. I would say, oh no, they got someone.
Oh my gosh. Oh, well, folks, I mean, we just started this season. And little did you know, we were going to hit your asses with a bonus episode in the first week.
Woohoo!
We got you.
Happy Independence Day.
Yeah.
Yes.
Happy 4th, everybody.
Wee-hoo.
And what better movie to celebrate the nation's independence than to celebrate the world's independence from those weird little alien guys?
I can't think of a better movie that I want to cuddle up to today. Of all days, this is the one.
Yeah. And this is a favorite of Rach's, and I hope that she owns it. I hope she really owns how she feels about this movie.
I loved this rewatch. This rewatch was amazing.
Okay. This all held up for you. Like everything. You were like, yeah, this is a slam dunk banger.
Yeah.
I have no regrets about any of my choices.
No regrets, no notes, nothing. This is perfection.
Oh, okay.
This movie, I'm going to jump into the end.
Yeah.
It's perfect.
Oh
This
my
movie
God. This
is
100%?
perfect. No.
It's 100% top 5?
Almost, but it's incredible. It's a wonderful movie. It's such a good time.
All right.
I will fight anybody. I will go on record saying, I love this movie.
Awesome. Good for you. And ladies and gentlemen, you're going to see a fight today.
Bring it. Bring it.
Oh, so we really hope you enjoyed this bonus episode. We will tune back in with your regularly scheduled programming after this week and our usual release dates. Just a reminder, though, while we got you, go ahead and give us a little thumbs up. Go ahead and give us a likey. Go ahead and give us a kissy face. We'd love your support. We'd love your love. And that would be awesome. Wherever you find your podcasts, just go look and see if they have a rating system. Do it. Spotify does. The
Do
podcast
all of
app
them.
on
If
Apple
you've
does.
done it, do the other ones.
Yeah, do the other ones.
It's not going to hurt.
No, it's only going to help.
Unless you rate us poorly. Then don't do it.
Yeah, then please.
Just keep it to yourself. No one wants to hear that.
For Independence Day, Rach,
Mm-hmm.
there probably are people, like, I don't know if the youngins in this planet, if the Gen Zers, if they know about this movie. It feels like it was on TBS and TNT all the time, but they probably just skipped it and be like, oh, yeah, my older brother watched that.
Yeah, they
Or
probably
like,
haven't watched
yeah, my
it.
parents like that movie.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Oof.
what would you tell them? How would you explain Independence Day for them?
Oh, my gosh. I would say buckle up for the time of your life. It is such a ride. So many great people in it. So
Mhm.
much great acting. I love it. I love it all. It's a good time.
Yeah, you love all the acting. You would say is all A+, huh?
A+ across the board.
You say the
Couldn't
writing is tremendous.
Couldn't think of a single note
Character
to give them.
development, in depth and rich.
Yeah. It's what I'll say is it's a fun time. It's a good time. It's
It
not
is.
here for a long time, but it's here for a good time.
But it is here for a long time because it's a 2 hour and 30-minute movie. 220.
that long?
It's 220 something.
Ah,
It's over two. It's in the 20s though.
I felt like it moved along pretty swiftly.
It does. It
moves
does.
pretty
I'm not
quick
being
if you're
fair to
thinking
it.
about it.
It does move much quicker
Mhm.
than other 2 hour and 20-minute movies that you're gonna hear about on this season.
Mhm.
So yeah, it's snappy for sure.
Snappier than some.
Yep. I remember watching this like pretty much right off the bat. I don't think I saw it in the theaters, but I
Mhm.
think I saw it like right when it hit VHS. It's probably a Blockbuster rental, third
Yeah.
grade. I think I watched it like a billion times.
I don't know if I watched it that young, but yeah, definitely. Grandma had the VHS to this.
Yep.
Maybe I had the VHS to this. I don't know,
It
but
feels like every family in America in the 90s had this movie
did
on
we
VHS.
all have this?
We had this, we had
VHS?
Jurassic Park. It felt like those were kind of
Yeah,
required.
Maybe a combo pack.
Yep. Sometimes you
Yeah.
had the Titanic 2 VHSer.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, you probably had this.
Yeah, this was a yearly, if not bi-yearly watch.
Mm-hmm.
I just knew it way too well.
But we both talked about this, like, when was the last time you watched it in full?
Well, that's hard because in its entirety, it's been years.
Uh-huh.
Years and years. Because, one, it's always on. TNT, TBS, Spike,
USA, yep,
Comedy
FX.
Central, wherever you get your movies, your
Yep.
basic B movies from. Like, this is where it is. That's where it goes to roost. And so you always, like, turn it on and you watch, like, about 10 minutes of it, and then the commercials come on. You're like, all right, moving on.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely.
But it really should be watched in succession from beginning to end. You don't get the stakes if you just, like, tune in partway through them kicking alien, but you've got to see the beginning to end. You've got to see it.
Yeah, I feel like the beginning quarter of this movie I haven't seen in at least 15 years.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
It's been a long time.
Yeah, I can't
early
say
20s.
it's been that long, but it's been long enough. Too long, I say.
Were you surprised by anything? Because I was. I was like, oh, I didn't remember that.
There was some jokes that I hadn't heard before, or some things that I just noticed that I hadn't noticed before, like how hot Jeff Goldblum is in this movie.
Yeah, with his little wife pleaser on.
He is a smoke show in this.
Is this his hottest? Is this his peak?
It might be.
Do you?
I've never found him so hot. I think he's an attractive man, but boy, was he spicy in this.
Yeah.
He's like, what, 40 years old maybe?
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's
his
hot.
early young
He is
40s.
Hot to trot. Those glasses, we need to get you those glasses.
Yeah, that's what Rach kept being like, we got to get you those glasses.
Those 90s glasses, you know the ones. We got to get them.
They're a little Buddy Holly-ish.
No, that's more 50s. This is a 90s version of the Buddy Holly.
Yeah, but it's like it's
a
an
little
evolved,
rounder than that.
It's an evolved Buddy Holly is
We
what
got
they
to
are.
get them. We got to.
We gots to get them. So, would you take him over Will Smith in this movie?
I would now. And that's the first time. That was one of the first things I noticed about this film was like, oh, I'm a Jeff Goldblum girl.
Yeah.
I'm not a Will Smith girl in this film.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not because of recent transactions.
Sure,
And back in the day, like I was all for Will Smith in this movie. He was hottie patati. And he still is super cute in this, but I'm on Team Goldblum.
Oh, wow. One of the Goldblum gals.
Yeah, that's what we call ourselves.
Yep, instead of the Smith sisters. So let me just tell you a little bit about this bad boy.
Yeah.
How it came to be a thing. I want to take you back in time to a little thing called The Stargate press tour. Do you know Stargate? Do you know what that is?
I have no idea what that is.
Oh, it's a movie that came out in the early 90s. It was like, actually, it wasn't even that much before this movie. It was like 94, I think. And people think it's awesome.
Okay.
It's like you're going through space and time, but then there's like Egypt-like things that are going on with sci-fi stuff. People freaking love that movie.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's lame as F.
Okay.
But people love it.
Okay.
And so this is the guy who directed that movie, Roland Emmerich.
Okay.
And then the guy who wrote that movie, Dean Devlin. So they're like kind of hot at this moment.
Okay.
They're on the press tour.
Mm-hmm.
Kurt Russell's there. You know, they're hanging out. They're just joshing around. They're on the press tour, and this guy asks Roland Emmerich, the director, do you believe in aliens? He's like, no, I don't believe in aliens. They're like, well, how can you make a movie about aliens? And he starts just pontificating about that.
Mm-hmm.
And then he's like, how crazy would it be if we all woke up one morning, we walked outside of our house, and we looked up, and there was just a gigantic spaceship just sitting over our houses? Like, how would that make us all feel? Would we attack it? Would we just, like, let it be? Like, what would we do?
Yeah. What's the plan?
So that was
What's
his
the
whole
plan?
He was just spitballing with this interviewer.
Sure.
Came up with this idea. He walks off the interview. He goes right to Dean Devlin, the guy who wrote it, wrote Stargate with him, and he goes, that's the plot for our next movie. I just figured it out. And Dean Devlin's response is, he was like kind of taking a pot shot at Invasion of the Body Snatchers. He's like, this sounds awesome. I heard your interview. This is a great idea. Can we not have like little spores, but can we have like an actual alien that we're going to fight? Like something that's challenging for humans to take down? And they're like, yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely.
So bro's broing out.
Glad you asked.
They came up with this bad boy.
I love that. You know, sometimes inspiration just strikes in random ways. I'm so glad that they followed that hair.
They followed their hearts.
Yeah, and they did.
And how many weeks do you think it took to write this bad boy?
Oh, 2.
No, a little bit more than that. Double it. It took 4 weeks.
Not too shabby, boys. Again, when it strikes, it strikes.
But what's kind of funny is it probably really only took like a few days because they wrote this while they were on a month-long vacation in Mexico.
Oh, okay.
So I have a feeling they weren't constantly like
Right. Yeah,
nose to the
vacating.
grindstone.
Yeah.
They were at the swim up bar and they're like, oh, what about it?
Okay, hear me out.
And then after they wrote this in 4 weeks, they sold it the day after they finished writing it.
Holy buckets.
It sold right away, and that must be super nice. But granted, they had Stargate under their belt, so like
Yeah,
they
do you
already
think
were kind of
would
hot.
it could have been anything that they would have written at that point would have gotten sold right
Yeah,
away?
I do.
'Cause that's
I
where they
actually
were
do
at?
think so. Yeah, I
It's
think
like,
they were kind of
what's
hot.
next for you?
People were like, "Yeah, this is fascinating. You write fascinating stuff."
Okay.
These two, they're pretty much relaunching the idea of like the disaster space invasion movies, which were super popular back in like the 50s. If you think of like Mystery Science Theater 3000, the movies they would make fun of, they're relaunching those kinds of movies. They haven't been done ever. They're huge War of the World, well, not ever, but in a long time.
Yeah.
They're huge War of the Worlds fans.
Oh.
And so that like plays
yeah.
into a lot of their decision making when they're coming
Sure.
up with a plot for this thing.
Love that.
And after this movie, Roland Emmerich, he becomes like the disaster film guy.
Okay.
And so he does Day After Tomorrow.
Oh yeah.
He does the 1998 Godzilla movie.
Okay.
He does 2012 with John Cusack. He does that Halle Berry Moonfall movie that came out a few years ago. Everybody thought it was going to win the Razzie, and it miraculously did not.
Somehow it pulled up
Yeah,
right at the
somehow
last
pulled it
minute.
out. But it just did terrible.
Disaster movie.
So he really doesn't do anything that's terribly successful after this movie. Like
Yeah.
this is the height for him.
But all like big budget CGI.
Yes, big CGI
things.
fest.
Yeah.
Did you see Day After Tomorrow? You had a reaction when I said that one.
I have seen that, I believe, or it was probably on at your mom and dad's.
Okay.
And your maybe dad was watching it, and I watched a little bit of it.
Do you remember who the star of that one is?
Day After Tomorrow.
Yeah.
It's not Jake Gyllenhaal, is
It
it?
is. That's
is
the
it
Jake Gyllenhaal one. Yeah, I think Dennis Quaid maybe is in that one too.
Okay.
And that's the one where there's like scene where he's running through the snow and there's like wolves
Yeah,
chasing
it's
him
cold,
and
right?
stuff.
They're
It's
like
very
in the
cold.
library and they're like
Yeah.
burning books to stay warm.
I think so, yeah.
Or not doing that. I don't know. But
I don't
there's a
remember
library, an icy
There's
cold
definitely
library.
a library. I remember the cold library too.
Okay, that's
That stuck
maybe
with
that's
me.
where I jumped on.
That and the wolves. That's really all
and
I
the
remember.
wolves. The wolves come.
Yeah. Yeah.
Who knew?
Yeah, they come.
Look
They're
out.
like, yeah, it's our
It's
territory
our
now.
time now.
That's like Goonies. It's our time of year. And then did you see the 1998 Godzilla with Matthew Broderick?
Mm-mm,
I bet you
did
saw the
not.
P. Diddy music video.
Yeah. Dun-dun-dun, 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 dun-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun. Right?
Maybe. I don't know.
Oh, you don't even know?
I remember the
you
music
don't
video.
remember?
I can't think
It's got
of the
this
song at all.
orchestration to it. It's pretty
All I
badass.
remember is he's singing in that high rise and Godzilla walks past his window. That's
Yeah.
what I remember about
Very
that music
scary.
video.
Get out of that building.
He doesn't seem scared, though. He's more singing to the camera. He's more just like, this is me. I'm not afraid of Godzilla. I'm P. Diddy. So we talked about this with our Top Gun episode a while back.
Okay.
Did you remember that military films, they have to get the permission of the U.S. military if they want to have like certain equipment, they want to have logos, some iconography, they want to have like military advisors that like help coach them through their film, things like that?
I did not remember that, but I'm so glad you brought that up now.
Yeah, and this film had that, and then they lost it.
What?
They had to go.
Why?
They had to do their own thing because there's something this movie talks about that the military was like, you cannot talk about that. And they just kept mentioning it, and they were like, we're going to talk about it. And they're like, if you do this, we're pulling funding, we're pulling our support.
Area 51?
Got it. Yep.
The government was like, nope,
No
close
Area
to
51
home.
stuff.
And then they have like a whole like section on it. That's like where the final battle is Area 51. But, like, we can't talk about it, which makes it even more suspect,
I know.
doesn't it?
Absolutely.
Like no one knows what Area 51 is. Like, come on, like, not talking about it.
I think they just didn't want to, like, continue the craze. They're like, we don't need you adding to all the bullshit about Area 51.
Do you really think that's why they pulled funding? Or do you think they were onto something?
Okay. I'm gonna ask you this question.
No, I'm asking you.
No, I'm asking the question.
I am asking the questions now. I'm the captain.
So I think they pulled funding just because they didn't want to add to the hysteria. I don't think they were worried about like covering up anything because I think things have already been like talked about with Area 51 enough that it doesn't matter. Like X-Files talks about it. All this, they've had documentaries about it. What I want to know from you though is, do you think there's anything sinister going on at Area 51?
Oh, define sinister. What does sinister
Well, I guess
mean?
sinister makes it sound like
secretive, yes.
Yeah, secrets.
So I guess with secrets, there's probably a little bit of sinisterism there.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is. Is it related to, I don't know, something nuclear, something experimentation-wise?
You just guess right now. I want you to tell me what's in Area 51.
I think there's some crash stuff there.
Like some alien crafts?
I don't want to be. I don't. If they're listening, I don't want to disappear next week. But I think there's some stuff there.
Yeah. Did you know the guys in black suits who show up are a real thing? The men in black.
Say more.
So there have been like books written, and there have been like people who have come out and been like, yeah, the black suit guys are real.
The black suit guys are real?
Yeah, they're these guys in black suits that they come and they show up, and then like
they show up when. After a sighting?
Yeah, after a sighting. They don't like, they're not brainwashers or anything, but they just like show up at things that are like mysterious, and people are like, the guys in black suits are in this town where something weird happened, or like the guys in black suits where there was like a picture that was taken and now it's gone, and somebody saw a guy in black suit like near the house or something.
That sounds pretty hearsay, but
some crazy stuff.
I'm gonna jump on board because I love a good conspiracy theory. I eat it up.
So you think there's crash stuff? You think there's any experimentations on like, I don't know, are they like making weird robot things there? Are they doing anything with like, is there any monster stuff? Is there anything that's scary?
Stuff.
Like some ghost stuff? Is there Stranger Things like dimension stuff?
I think it's all more science-y than that. But
so
stuff that's like top secret. So it's not stuff that they want people to know about.
So it's just aliens? No,
I think it could be like some nuclear stuff. It could be some weapon creation there that they don't want anyone to know about.
Okay.
It could be like, some bad stuff like vaporizing water supplies or something that's just like World War III ender stuff.
Yeah, like you can take away everybody's fresh water is what you're saying?
Could be really bad stuff that we don't want people to know that we know how to do, because then they're going to figure it out.
We can vaporize your water. That's an interesting topic.
I know. I have all kinds of ideas. I just say, like, if the black suit people come for me.
But I don't think they're going to come because they're mad at you. I think they're going to be like, hey, you're coming with us, ma'am. You have some great ideas.
You think, sounds like you know how to end the world.
So the composer to this beautiful film, his name is David Arnold, and they say the main two, they are like the only person who could write the most patriotic music in the world is a Brit. And
is that right?
Yeah. And this actually, the score wins a Grammy.
Oh, wow.
And I'm curious, Rach, when you like think about the song, can you sing a little bit of it for us?
Unfortunately, you have put P. Diddy's song from Godzilla into my head.
Can you sing the P. Diddy
so
song?
all I can hear is Dun-dun-dun.
Okay,
Dun-dun-dun.
you sing.
Dun-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun.
Okay, you do that, and I'll sing the Independence Day song, and we'll do a crossover.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
You go for it.
Dun-dun.
I
like yours better. That's fun. That's super patriotic.
Yeah.
I feel like I should go into like Grand March or something for that. Like I'm graduating.
Yeah, it does feel a little bit like a graduation song.
But very heroic.
Very
as well.
heroic.
Yeah.
We're all heroes when we
Good
graduate
stuff.
high school.
Good stuff.
So a little bit about the casting.
Mm-hmm.
So our main lead ends up being Will Smith, but
Yeah.
there's a little controversy in my research.
Okay.
And I want to tell the listeners because
Yeah.
I think it's important that we level the playing field.
Suss it out.
They can know the knowledge that I know. So the producers say Will Smith was always the guy.
Mm-hmm.
But a little gentleman
Mm-hmm.
by the name of Monsieur Hawk, Ethan
Hawke.
says that if he was always the guy, how come you sent me the script with an offer and you made me read it? And he said that he was in Texas at the time and he read all the way up to the scene where they're getting ready to like have their first battle with the aliens. And then Will Smith's character says like, I'm just excited to get up there and whoop E.T.'s ass.
Something you want to add to this briefing, Captain Hiller?
No, sir. Just a little anxious to get up there and whoop E.T.'s ass, that's all.
Or something like that. Like that's the line that then he rolled down the window and he threw it out.
That's the line?
Yep, that's the
I'll
line.
be
He was like,
honest.
nope, this is bullshit.
Ethan,
I'm out.
love you, but you didn't deserve it then. If you can't figure out how to make that line super cool like Will Smith does,
Yeah.
then you don't deserve it.
Will Smith has a lot of cool lines.
He's got the best lines.
Yeah, what are
There's
some
so
other-
many great one-liners.
What's your favorite line?
Kick the tires and light the fires.
Let's kick the tires and light the fires, Big Daddy.
Yeah, but that's like the Goose Maverick
Punch in
moment.
the face. Welcome to Earth.
Welcome to Earth.
I wanted to say, bitch.
Well, you all have so many of those.
It's like welcome to the OC. Like Luke
Oh,
does
I
to
see.
Ryan in the OC. Welcome to the OC,
None till the
bitch.
fat lady sings. So many.
He's got the one where he's dragging him through the desert.
What the hell's that smell?
You got me out here dragging your heavy ass through the burning desert with your dreadlocks sticking out the back of my parachute. You gotta come down here with an attitude, acting all big and bad. And what the hell is that smell?
Yeah.
And what was that smell?
So
Ty, in the desert.
I told Rach this, but I'll go into it now. So what was going on? That was an improv by Will Smith. He's carrying the thing through the hot desert, and he's going
Alien
through.
body.
I don't remember what the desert is. They filmed a lot of this in Utah. And I
It's
don't.
like salt.
But it might have been something else.
It
but
looks like he's on the old like dried up salt lake.
yeah,
Like
there's
Valley
this
of Dead.
shrimp that when it dries up. There's at different points of the year, the shrimp stays in the ground, but it decomposes and it stinks really bad in this desert. And that's where they filmed. And so when he says like, hey, what's that smell? And he kicks it, that's improv because it really was super stinky. And he was like, this place smells like shit.
Brilliant.
Yeah, really good.
Great choice. Loved it.
So speaking of Will Smith, he lands this bad boy after doing Fresh Prince for 6 seasons.
Oh wow.
And then what's a Will got to do?
Well,
He's got to shine, baby.
Yeah, Will's got to shine.
And so he starts getting into the movie game.
Yeah.
And he's done 2 movies before this. Let's see
Okay.
if you know what they are.
Was one of them Men in Black?
Nope.
That's
Men in Black
after
is
this.
right after this.
Okay, because
right
this feels
after.
like his like peak
Yep.
like movie
Coming
stardom
out
time.
party, Independence Day.
Yes.
He's done 2 other things. One wasn't
2?
very popular, and
Okay.
then one was very popular, but not superstardom.
I was gonna say Legend of Bagger Pants,
No.
but he's so old in that.
No, that's coming up later.
Something young, something very popular.
I was in this play.
Wuthering Heights.
Nope. Nope. This is a movie,
Uh-huh.
and
But it was a play.
I was in this play in the cities. It bombed. The reviews were really bad, but people liked me in it.
Red Velvet?
Nope. No, people. I didn't get a good review for Red Velvet.
Yeah, I can't think of the name of that one that you were in. That was at Theater in the Round.
6
6
degrees of separation. Yep. So he does 6 degrees of separation, and then after that he does.
What a choice.
Yeah, I know, right? And then, but after that, he does a film that then would go on to make 2 more, and one just came out a month ago.
Bad Boys?
Bad Boys 1
Bad
came
Boys
out
1
before.
Is that old?
Yeah. Bad
I
Boys
didn't know it
2
went back
came out
that
I think
far.
in the early 2000s.
Maybe that
Bad
I thought that
Boys
was the
1
one all the time.
Came out right before this. I was shocked.
Oh my gosh. Did you guys know that? I didn't know that.
It's crazy.
I mean, I think I thought Bad Boys 2 was Bad Boys. If you asked me when did the first Bad Boys come out, I'd be like, oh, like 2001 probably.
Yeah, that's what I would have said.
What?
Yeah, crazy, right?
Wow. Wow.
Yeah,
You must have been a baby in that.
Yeah, for sure. And then Jeff Goldblum.
Yeah?
Do you know what? Jeff Goldblum's been in so many things.
Yeah.
He was
It's a little
actually
tricky
in
to keep track
the
of.
Invasion of the Body Snatchers from the 70s. That's the first time I remember seeing him. He's a
Amazing.
young little hottie in
Yeah.
his 70s hair.
Cuter
and
than he
everything.
is now?
No, he's never cuter than he is now.
Oh, so you agree this is also
Yeah,
peak?
he's so hot in this movie. Are you
He's
kidding me?
So
You got to be joshing me.
smoking. Is Jurassic Park after this?
Jurassic Park is before this. It's
oh,
1990.
okay. So he had done that
Yep.
also. Smoke show and that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Lost World is right after this
Oh,
in
okay.
1997.
Mhm.
But then he did The Fly in 86, which you have not seen The Fly, right?
Nope.
I'm going to rewatch it, and I'll let you know if it's worthy of
If it's going on
Summer's
the
Off
list.
list or not.
All right.
I've already seen it, but it's been so long, I can't really remember.
Does he turn into a fly in it?
Yeah,
Oh,
his
I don't wanna
transformation is crazy.
I don't want to see
It's
that.
very like gory and gross, but at the same time,
Yeah.
it's really like human. It's sad
Oh.
because he's dating what's her name from League of Their Own, who you love so much,
Oh.
Gina Davis.
Gina Davis. It's
Yeah.
like Gina.
Yep.
Gina Davis.
Yeah, and so Gina and him in
Wow.
it, and they're so good.
What an attractive couple.
I know, they're so cute.
So cute.
So the president role
Yeah.
was written for a no-name at the time, Kevin Spacey,
Oh.
who was best friends with the writer.
Uh-huh.
The writer's like, hey, I'm going to make this a star vehicle for you.
Mhm.
I'm going to make you the president. This is going to be your launching pad,
Sure.
and you're going to be golden. And the studio nixes him. They're like, he is not famous. We cannot have him play the president. And they're like, but what about all this other stuff? You got Jeff Goldblum. He's like kind
Yeah.
of your star, and you got Will Smith, your upcoming star.
Yeah.
They're
You're
like,
solid, right?
no way. It's got to be Bill Pullman.
Ugh.
And they needed that Newsies charm. That was from 1992. Sleepless in Seattle's 93.
Okay.
Casper's 95. So this is after
He is on a roll, baby.
He is. He's killing it.
He's now moving into action hero.
that.
He
Yep.
played dad. He played boyfriend. Now action star
President.
and president.
Yep. Double whammy.
Double whammy. He is a great president.
Which we have to do some things. So he's ex-military.
Yep, he was a fighter pilot in the Gulf War.
Yep, he's young, which doesn't really say much, but he is in a deadlock with the Congress,
Yep.
trying to get funding.
Okay.
And then we see Vivica A. Fox,
Yep.
who is Will Smith's wife.
Mhm.
She, as a young black woman, said she voted for the other guy.
Uh-huh.
We're 95% sure he's a Republican.
Oh yeah. Oh for sure.
Yeah.
But he's the Republican we all deserve.
Yeah, he's a hero.
He is such a good president. I would probably vote for him this time around if
Yeah.
he was up. I'd be
Wow.
Did you hear his speech?
His speech was
Before
great.
he gets into the fighter pilot.
And what I liked is he fought against corruption in his cabinet.
Yeah.
He made some bad decisions, and then he got rid of his Secretary
owned
of
it,
Defense when he owned it. Yep.
Yeah.
And then he like went to the front lines. He's like Alexander the Great. He's like
We
gonna
will
ride
not
into battle.
go quietly into the night. We will not vanish. It's iconic.
So I've got a lot about that. I'll get to it after casting, but
Okay.
there's like more to talk about with that speech.
Very good.
And since we just mentioned her, let's talk about Vivica A. Fox.
Oh, spicy Vivica.
She is a
looks
saucy mama.
hot to trot. I remembered that, and that rang true after all these years of not watching it. I was like, I
Yeah.
think Vivica A. Fox is really hot in that. Like, she's got these cute like flannel outfits and these tank tops, and
Yep.
she's running across the desert in her little boots and her little camo shorts. Like, you're cute.
Yeah.
Y'all are a cute couple. Her.
They
and
are.
Will
They're
Smith.
attractive couple.
They probably never dated, but they should have.
Well, they did not date, and that's a great segue, Rach. You are like setting up
Am
the
I
spikes
killing
right
it?
now, because he started dating Jada Pinkett in the summer of 1995,
Wow.
and that's who Vivica A. Fox went up against.
oh,
for
this
this role.
No kidding.
She beat Jada Pinkett for this role.
Wow, that's wild.
Yep.
How crazy. Their height
Pretty
difference.
crazy.
I don't know if that works on film as much. It's not
Is
as cute.
She's a lot shorter than Will. I
Jada?
can't. Yeah, I can't picture
Jada's
them standing.
Much shorter than Will.
I can only picture them sitting after he slapped Chris Rock.
Yeah, we're gonna get into that.
No, we don't have to get into that. Let's talk about Randy Quaid.
Hello, boys! I'm back!
Oh yeah,
He was
Yeah,
in
that's who that was.
He was in the Vacation movies.
Mhm.
He's gonna be in the movie, one of my grandpa's favorite movies of all time, Kingpin. It's a bowling movie with Woody Harrelson. He's gonna be in that the same exact month that this comes out.
Oh,
Comes
wow.
out.
Also having a
3
bomb
weeks.
year.
Yeah, so he's
Everyone's
killing it around
thriving
this
in
time.
this. Yeah.
And well, before I get too far, well, we can hit acting a little bit later. But like anything you'd like to say about any of these folks, because we might not revisit them.
I think everyone was perfectly cast in this perfect movie.
I mean, I think Randy Quaid is out of his mind over the top.
Well, yeah, but he's also crazy.
Yeah.
Did you want him to be subtly crazy? Do
No.
you want him to be like in a corner just whispering to himself?
I
Like,
don't know
no,
what
he's a drunkard. He's embarrassing. He gets the biggest like redemption story. Like you want him to be annoying. Like I'm annoyed by him, but
I'm
then you
annoyed,
remember that he sacrifices himself for his children and the fate of
Yeah.
the world.
Yeah, I guess I don't know. He's just a little. He's like that for every movie. I think he's always too much.
Oh yeah.
Like
he's a
people
ham for
love
sure.
him in the Vacation movies.
Yeah.
And he annoys me in those movies too.
Oh, for
I'm
sure.
like,
That's who he
I
is.
think Chevy
though.
Chase is so funny in those movies, and he kind of sucks.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
I'm not.
you're not wrong.
I just think Randy Quaid misses. I miss the boat with him.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. So Harry Connick Jr. is in this
Yeah,
movie.
I forgot about him
Yeah,
in this.
I
I
did
remembered
too.
the best friend character and some of the lines that he had, but I did not
Uh-huh.
remember that it was Harry Connick.
And a non-attractive Harry Connick Jr.
He's very young in it and hasn't quite grown into his face just
Yeah.
yet, or his beautiful hair.
It's kind of like if you ever go back and you watch Band of Brothers and you see Tom Hardy as a young man, he's not
Yes,
attractive.
That is a great
He is an
comp.
uggo maguggo.
That is
And
a
that is
great
what Harry
comp.
Connick's going through too. They're like growing pains for these
Yeah.
guys who are going to be attractive later on.
Someday, just hold on, little buddies.
Yeah, just hold on a
there.
little bit longer. But that wasn't supposed to be Harry Connick Jr.
Okay.
because just a little bit before filming, Matthew Perry dropped out.
Oh, Matthew Perry.
Matthew Perry was slated to play that role.
Interesting. What version of
And-
Matthew Perry are we at here? Are we at alcoholic or drug induced? So is he skinny or is he larger, Matthew Perry?
I mean, we're in Friends world.
Yeah, I know, but you know
96.
how he yo-yos all the time, and he
Yeah.
talked about like that's how you know.
Look up when
what his
Friends
weight
started
is.
because it will give you a season.
I could, or we could just move on.
We could
It's
just
fine.
we could just be curious.
Yeah, we'll
be
just be
eternally curious. The listeners in their minds will be like, "Well, I'm driving my car right now. Can't really look that up. And it's driving me nuts.
It's not driving.
Look it up.
It's not driving anybody nuts.
You asked the question. We have to have an
I
answer.
forgot what the question even was.
It was. When did Friends start? Because we can
Oh.
at least give them a season.
Okay, well,
Yep.
continue on then.
Okay. So Matthew Perry's supposed to be Harry Connick Jr.'s part. He drops out, but his dad is in this movie.
94.
Okay, so this is season 3. Season 3, Matthew Perry.
Mhm.
Ross is probably going to go to that wedding at the end of season 3, I think.
Mm.
You think that sounds fair?
I don't know.
I don't either.
We gotta ask your dad.
So,
Your dad knows more about Friends than almost anybody.
yeah, that's so true. He's like die hard. And then let's chat about the kids. Rach, where are the kids from in this movie? There's multiple kids.
There's 2 kids to be precise.
Yeah.
Will Smith, well, it's not his kid, but Vivica Fox's son and
Uh-huh.
Will Smith's stepson is from Little Rascals.
What character is he?
Bucky?
Buckwheat.
I was gonna
He's
say
not Bucky.
Bucky,
He's
Buckwheat?
Buckwheat.
I haven't watched it in a long time.
He's the one
I told
who
you not
says,
to ask me that.
he's the one who chases the goose around. I got $1. I got $1.
hey, 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 hey.
He's
Yeah.
the one who hangs out with
Real
Porky all the
peanut.
time.
This has to be
So
before
cute.
that, right? Because he's so tiny in this.
I think it. Well,
Is
I think it was right around the same time,
I
girl.
don't know. He's just a little squirt, but he's a little squirt in that too.
He
so
is. I
could be.
seriously feel like it could be the same summer.
Yeah. And then the president's daughter.
This was wild. Rach saw this, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, I think you're right." And I looked it up. I looked up the wrong person, and then I
Mhm.
was like, "Nope, it's not her." And you're like, "I swear it's her. Look it up again."
Look up
and
someone else.
We figured it out.
So the president's daughter, if you know the movie Scott Pilgrim with Michael Cera in it, he has to fight a bunch of exes, usually all male, but
So
there's
you
one
said you have 7 evil ex-girlfriends? Evil exes.
exes.
Yeah, so where are these 7 evil ex-boyfriends? Exes.
One is a female that he
Yep.
has to fight, and that's who the daughter was. I recognized her little cheeks. She's
And
got the cutest little face.
And what's crazy about this is Rach recognized her when she's 6.
yeah.
And when she's Roxy in Scott Pilgrim, that's the
Mhm.
name of the girlfriend,
Mhm.
is that's like she's probably 26, like 20 years later.
Oh, could be. Yeah.
Yeah, and so Rach got her when she was 6. That's pretty miraculous.
Miraculous.
I thought it was
That's
pretty
a big
impressive
word,
stuff.
but thank you for that.
The rich guy from Big is the general.
Yes.
And then Harvey Firestein we get for like a quick hot second.
Who's Harvey Firestein?
Harvey Firestein.
Oh. That man and his
Mrs.
vocal
Doubtfire.
nodes, like he is one that you cannot listen to for very long. He can almost only exclusively be like a 5-minute part in a movie because he just talks like this. David. It's like, what is going on there?
Yeah.
Do you think that's his real voice?
Yeah,
You think he's always-
100%. Yeah. That's
He
him.
He sings too, doesn't he?
He
He's like
does.
a Broadway guy?
Yeah, he was the original
Trudy Turnblad?
Yeah, well,
Is that right? Am I saying that? So many missteps today.
I know.
Apologies, everyone.
What-
I don't have my brain on.
Turnblad?
Turnblad is the name. I don't remember the name of the mom in Hairspray.
I don't
is what
either.
we're trying
Tracy
to come up with.
is the
daughter.
And
Mom's name
Edna.
Edna.
No, is that right? I don't think that's
I
right.
think it's Edna. Edna Turnblad.
Look it up.
God dang it. I hate having my phone in
when
here.
you ride co-pilot with me and you don't put your phone on airplane mode, I'm going to put you to work, girl.
Hairspray, Mom. Edna.
Edna.
Ugh, no more of these. This
Got
brain is killing me.
Got it. So, principal photography. You mentioned this. So, we're actually recording this episode a little ways into our season.
Mm-hmm.
We put a bunch of episodes in the can. But we've been talking about like how long principal photography is taken for a lot of these films.
Mm-hmm.
And we recently were talking about a film that took like, I think it was like 4 months. And you're like, man, it's like you can't even do an epic in less than like 4 months.
Mm-hmm.
Principal photography for this one took 10 weeks.
Wow.
They did this thing in 10
They got this bad boy
weeks.
done.
So they shot at a military base called the Windover Airfield in Utah.
Okay.
Kind of an interesting historical place
Okay.
because it houses this airplane called the Enola Gay,
Mm-hmm.
and that's the airplane that flew over Hiroshima and dropped the atomic bomb.
Oh, snap.
And that's where they filmed this thing.
Crazy.
Yeah, and then they also
Big piece of history.
absolutely, and especially for this movie where we're talking about like a
World
big
War.
war, yeah, a world
Mhm.
war. They also shot this around Vegas, L.A., Jersey, Zona, New Mexico. They're all over the place, but
Mhm.
mostly desert locales.
Mm-hmm.
So throughout the shoot, they're doing some weird things,
Mm-hmm.
and the townspeople frequently
Townspeople?
call in.
Oh, where they're doing the shoot at.
Yeah, like
so literally the people of the townspeople.
yeah, if
I
they're
thought
out-
you were referring to extras as townspeople.
no, if they're in the desert, like
Yeah,
a
yeah,
nearby
yeah.
town, will call in like, "Hey, I'm seeing some weird shit out there in the
Uh-huh.
desert right now. Some weird lights. I think you
Yeah.
guys need to go check it out." They got called in for like over 100 UFO sightings.
Wow.
And one of the big ones, one night alone, it was like over 30.
Mm-hmm.
And it was the scene where they're in a helicopter and they're trying to send signals
Oh, right.
with the lights
Yeah, yeah.
to the big
the
ship.
mothership.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the
And-
welcome wagon.
Yeah, the welcome wagon. That welcome wagon
Oh.
scene caused a lot of mischief.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
And also fun that you can always be like, no, they're just filming a movie. Probably.
So the alien designs, what do you think of those?
The body of the aliens?
Yeah, what do you think about the aliens? How
I-
they looked and everything about
I
them?
thought they were pretty creepy. I mean, they're kind of like this. They're tall and they're big, so it gives you kind of like alien vibe. But then the alien, it's almost like it's driving this like body, like because you got to cut in when you get there. You got to cut into the alien out of the exoskeleton,
Uh-huh.
out of the shell, essentially, and then this kind of like silvery alien being is
Yeah.
inside that's controlling it. That's a little bit smaller, but also
Mhm.
pretty creepy looking too. And it has like more of the eyes that we think about when we think about alien eyes. They're kind
Yeah.
of like those like little almonds.
Mhm.
So I liked it.
Yeah.
I'm here for it.
I do too. And it has like weird tentacles, which is kind of cool.
Yeah, I don't know what those are for, but that's a part of the exoskeleton.
Yeah.
So big haunches that it kind of like almost
Uh-huh.
kind of think of what animal the legs look like.
It's almost like they took like multiple designs of aliens and they
Mhm.
said like we're gonna mishmash all these designs
Mhm.
together,
Yeah.
and so then we can have like a big version and a small version.
Yeah, a small smart version
And
a
that's
big, scary version.
that's kind of what happened.
Oh,
So
okay.
Emmerich was like, "Hey, I need everybody to come up with designs,"
Mhm.
and everybody's like drawing a bunch of designs,
Mhm.
and then he has like 2 designs that are primary designs that they kind of settle on.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, which one do we go with? Do we go with
Yeah.
like the more big, threatening one, or do we do this little one, which he has psychic powers apparently too?
Yeah, yeah.
Do we do this like kind of little one? What do we think? And he's like, can I be serious with you?
Mm.
I think we should do both. And they're like, oh, 2 different kinds of aliens? He goes, no,
No.
put
Watch
one
this.
inside the other. And so that's how they came up with that whole thing.
So clever. I compare almost all aliens to this alien, and this is kind of like the penultimate alien.
Yeah.
Am I using that word correctly?
Well, penultimate means it's the second to last.
There's probably one that's better. I can't think of it, so I'm going to keep that.
Oh, okay,
penultimate.
cool. Penultimate alien.
There's probably one more that's better than this.
Yeah, like a predator or an alien.
I don't know.
Aliens.
Not so much Predator, but
Not for the alien movies either.
I can't remember what those look like.
They have like
it's so
no
dark.
eyes. Then they're obviously not.
But
those
they have
ones.
like the big like snout thing, don't
Yeah,
they?
they have like a
And
little
this kind
thing
of has a
in their
snout on it, but not as much. Actually, no, this doesn't have a snout. It's a little confusing.
Yeah,
So
it
I
doesn't
say
really
not-
have a mouth.
Yeah, no, this is better.
This is better.
This is the ultimate.
so this
Aliens is penultimate. Predator is last.
is the, so
out of these
it's-
three.
Okay,
It is
that's your order.
post ultimate.
Very good. What do you think that alien ooze was?
What ooze?
When they cut open the little exterior exoskeleton,
Oh, like the little flap.
and then there's like a bunch of stuff that like the other alien, the
What
little one
do-
comes out of.
What do I think the design was supposed to be like, or what I
No.
think is actually made
What's
out
the
of?
ooze? There's a bunch of oozy stuff like they get on his hand, the doctor's hands and stuff.
Oh,
do you think all that ooze was?
That is probably Vaseline and water.
You're so close. I mean, technically, I almost want to give it to you.
What
It's
is it?
KY jelly.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Close.
I think that's really
A
close.
little bit
to
more
Vaseline.
viscous.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha.
So Jeff Goldblum's like the ultimate improv guy, and that whole chess scene with his dad, all improv.
Is it?
Yeah, they just said like, give us the gist of what you want us to talk about, and then they came up with stuff. And then when Will Smith and him were together, besides Will Smith like making up that stuff about shrimp in the desert,
Yeah.
Will Smith just kind of was keeping to the script. It was
Yeah.
like his first big movie. He
Yeah.
wanted to make a good first impression. Then Goldblum got to him. They start doing
yeah?
scenes together, and Goldblum's just throwing all this shit at him, and he's like, "Oh, whoa, are we doing this? Like you're going off script?"
Sure. Is this cool? Or
And
is
so
this
then
allowed?
Will started going off script, and so like all that stuff up in the spaceship
Yeah,
was
the two of
all
them?
it was all off script, but like with the gist of what was supposed to happen.
Hey, all right. Look at us. Taking a look at the Earthling. Goodbye.
I'll take care, all right? Nothing but love for you. Nothing but love for you. You think they have any clue what's about to happen to him?
Oh, no chance in hell. Good night.
Can I tell you?
Yeah.
I love the dialogue in that.
You do?
That's some of my favorite dialogue with the two of them just like riffing and back and forth, like no side talking, like go. It's so great. Listen to it. Hope we pull a clip from it. It's great. I love it.
Good.
I could tell it was ad-libbed
You could?
in a good way.
Because sometimes I don't think if I can tell it's ad-libbed, it's a good thing.
Well,
It depends.
I don't know. I just thought it was really clever, and I thought it was better than any writer would come up with.
Yeah. I mean, in this film, that's definitely true.
Mm-hmm.
Goldblum, though, while he's improving, he makes a major mistake.
What does he do? Does he call someone the wrong name?
No. He says, while they're trying to escape after shooting the nuke into the alien mothership, he goes, must go faster, must go faster.
Oh, they're closing up on us. Is that closing? Shut up, shut up, shut up! Must go faster. Must go faster. Must go faster. Go, 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 go!
Why would that be a big mistake?
What? Because they haven't got left yet?
No.
Must go faster.
He goes, must go faster, must go faster. Because
I don't know.
he says the same exact thing in Jurassic Park.
Must go faster.
Oh, no.
When the Tyrannosaurus Rex is chasing after them, he goes, must go faster, must go faster. And he was ad-libbing. He used the same exact
Shoot.
line that he had said before. And
trouble.
he told GQ, not even that long ago, it was I think in maybe 2016, he said that Spielberg called him after seeing the movie and was super pissed.
Oh,
He's like,
no.
why'd you reuse the line?
Yeah.
That's the line from
he
our
wasn't
movie.
Thinking.
Yep. And he's like, it just came to me or whatever. He's like,
Yeah,
well, you
I believe that.
You kind of ruined that moment now because you've now double dipped.
Oh no!
So-
Oh, that really sucks. Because it's not like you can like walk that back after the fact. It's not even that you're even aware sometimes. But yes, that is maybe the risk with if you're gonna ad lib into like iconic films within a year of each other. Like that's gonna be tricky, Bloom.
Yeah, for sure. And let's talk about the big speech. You already like said a couple quotes from it. Bill Pullman's big.
Yeah, the big fire 'em up before we go into battle.
Get the boys ready for the
we
football
will not
game.
go quietly into the night.
That's really good.
I know.
The 4th of July will no longer be known as an American holiday, but as the day when the world declared in one voice, we will not go quietly into the night. We will not vanish without a fight. We're going to live on. We're going to survive. Today, we celebrate our Independence Day.
I've seen this a lot.
So they actually pushed up that speech early in filming because they needed to convince Fox is the distributor, and they needed to convince Fox to keep that name. Again, because they were like, it's what we've always thought of it was going to be called. And Fox is like, no, we're going to change the name to Doomsday because the WB owns the name Independence Day for another film. And we don't want to pay them for the rights to reuse that name. It's a film from the 80s.
Gotcha.
And so they're like,
good.
we're changing it to Doomsday, just so you know. And the writers are like, we can't. They're on set right now. We need to move up that last line or whatever. He goes, this is our Independence Day. And so they filmed that in front of them, and then the people saw it, and they were like, yeah, that's pretty damn good.
Yeah, okay, you can have
Yeah,
it.
you win this time.
You win this time, but don't pull any more fast ones on me
No
with
more
Bill
tricks.
Pullman, will you? That is a good speech. That's a damn good speech. You may have it.
Speaking of that speech, so the writer for that speech went in and wrote that in like 5 minutes.
Wow.
Yep. But
so good.
How did he write that in 5 minutes, do you think? He wrote it in 5 minutes because it was based
Off of something?
a major inspiration.
The Civil War.
No.
Abraham Lincoln.
Nope. Let me give it to you.
Okay.
We few, we happy few, we band of brothers. For he today that sheds his blood with me shall be my brother. Be he near so vile, this day shall gentle his condition. And gentlemen in England now abed shall think themselves accursed they were not here, and hold their manhoods cheap whiles any speaks that fought with us upon St. Crispin's Day.
You had me at St. Crispin's Day.
What's that from, Rach?
I don't know, but it sounds like a Shakespeare.
It's definitely Shakespeare.
What's the big fight that happens on St. Crispin's Day in Shakespeare?
Ting,
Band
ting,
of Brothers.
ting,
This is
ting,
one of the Henrys, perhaps?
Yes, you are correct.
This first Henry, first of the Henrys,
No, it's
second of the Henrys,
No.
third of the Henrys. How many Henrys are there?
There's actually Henry VI Part 1, Part 2, Part 3.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
But this isn't Henry V.
Okay.
This is the big nationalist, like, war with France, we're awesome. Yeah.
I'm glad.
Classic.
How did you rehearse that prior to this? Had you read that a few times before?
I read it one time.
Be honest.
I read it one time because I wanted to make sure.
Out loud? Was it a bedroom rehearsal?
It was. No, I actually read it only in my head. I wanted to make sure I got this down. Shall think themselves accursed they were not here, instead of shall think themselves accursed said they were not here. Do you hear how that messed it up?
I hear. You goofed the...
So I needed to make sure it's not accursed versus accursed, because I knew all the listeners.
Someone's coming for you.
The listeners would just
Someone's
destroy
gonna say,
me on that
you
one.
didn't do your scansion, you little botch.
You know what's interesting about this speech?
What?
So in some other lines, it's Crispians. And in other lines, it's Crispins.
If someone says Crispian's Day, I'm like, I don't care what it was, you goof. You. That is one of those things you got to go with the mistake. Something got thrown off. You have to assume that that's not what he meant.
Well, and sometimes
it's not Crispian's Day.
Sometimes that does happen.
I think you have to assume that.
But this speech scans like perfect.
Yeah.
Because he's composed it. And there's a reason. So Henry V is prepared in this moment. He's not speaking off the cuff.
Sure.
He knows what he needs to say to his troops. And so it's very structured in a way that it's poetic, and it taps into that heartbeat for them. It doesn't ever fluctuate that heartbeat. He needs their hearts beating in the correct pattern before they go to war.
And that, listeners, was the first segment of our little of our Shakespeare 101. If you would like to hear more of that, let us know.
There's a lot more where that's coming from.
You could do so many podcasts about Shakespeare. If you had a Shakespeare podcast,
I don't know. What would I do?
What do you mean, what would you do? What you just did there.
I would just like do speeches and
You
just
would
talk about them.
speeches. You could do them, or you could just talk about them and explain the scansion. And it's like, so here's why this is interesting. This is why he's composed here. Hear this one. Hear the difference there. He's flummoxing. He's crazy. He's losing his mind. Like you could break it down for people, and people could get really excited about it because you do it in a way that's fun and educational.
It's fun. Shakespeare is fun.
But that's not this podcast. Please get back to Independence Day
yes, ma'am.
ASAP.
This film doesn't have a ton of CGI.
It doesn't?
No, they used miniatures like in Star Wars.
Yes.
And the White House scene in particular took a week to blow up with its minis.
Wow. 1 week of the 10 that it took to film?
Apparently.
It took a whole week to blow this up?
Okay, here's the thing, though, about that.
Yeah.
I think that they're off filming with Will Smith and Bill Pullman and Jeff Goldblum, and he's like, B Squad, I need you to stay and work with these minis and figure out how we're going to blow these
up the world.
And they did some weird things, and I don't have like a ton of information about this. Some cinematography, directors of photography could speak to this much better than I could. They did something where they like put the models upright, like vertical, instead of like picture the White House standing like horizontally. Instead, like flip it vertically. And then they started a fire and like big blasts of fire, and so it engulfed like parts of the White House, and so it doesn't blow up like evenly. I don't know. It's weird. I don't know. They were just talking about it in an interview, and I was like, I don't completely understand.
I'll have to watch that again.
Sounds pretty cool.
Yeah. Is there something like if you put it? So you're saying it's upside down? The White House is upside down, and so like when you
not
fire,
upside down, vertical, like on its edge.
Like this?
Yeah.
Like on its
like
side?
the Lego block is on its side.
Okay, so like it looks like it's blowing up on one side of it. We just think like the gravity would pull the pieces, and that would be interesting. Like if it was upside down, like if you start a fire, then it like goes this way, and so it looks like it's going up, but it's really just gravity.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I don't know. It's confusing.
It's so confusing.
What I needed was a video to demonstrate it for me, but just reading it, I was like, oh, okay, cool.
You guys even know what you're doing.
Oh, that sounds cool. The big mothership.
Yeah.
1,600 feet in diameter. Wow. One of the biggest props ever.
Where is it now?
Oh, I don't know. I should have looked it up.
Gotta be somewhere, right? Or we'll probably get rid of it. We wouldn't have the space to store that anywhere.
Yeah, I don't know.
But very cool.
Very cool.
Very cool.
This thing comes out. Do you have any idea on what day this movie comes out?
St. Crispin's Day?
Good tie back. No, it comes out on July 3rd, you silly.
Oh.
And actually,
I thought it was obvious.
the limited release opens on July 2nd, which is funny because that's when the movie starts.
Ooh, scary.
Movies on July 2nd, they blow everything up by July 4th.
Yeah, you'd be a little worried, like, what's happening? What's going to happen?
Things escalate very quickly, though.
I love the pacing. The pacing's great. No notes.
And they were actually in a race to launch this movie before another Alien movie, not from the Alien franchise, another Alien-ish movie that was coming out in December. It's a Tim Burton.
A Tim Burton Alien film?
Yep. So Tim Burton can be a little goofy, can he?
He can be a little goofy.
But a little dark and goofy.
A little dark and goofy?
Yep.
Is that Mars Attacks?
Yes.
When Mars Attacks? Is that what it's called?
I don't know. Is there a win in there?
I don't know.
I always just call Mars
Attacks. Period.
But it might be When
Full
Mars
stop.
Attacks.
Mars Attacks.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's your format. I don't know.
But that was coming out in December, so they were in a race.
I didn't know that was a Tim Burton film.
Yeah.
Weird.
Mm-hmm.
It's so not like his others.
I mean,
from a
kind
style
of.
standpoint.
He's like, there's like Pierce Brosnan loses his head, doesn't he? And he's like rolling around, or
I guess
or
you're right.
There's a girl on a dog's
Maybe
body.
It's very Tim Burton.
Yeah, it's pretty weird.
I haven't seen it in a long time.
This movie costs $75 million to make. It makes $45 million in the first week.
Okay.
And it picks up steam. It makes $79 million in the second.
Hell yeah.
It makes $306 million overall. Mm-hmm. It is number one the first week. 2 classics. Mm-hmm. Nutty Professor.
That's not a great timestamp. I don't know what is.
Hunchback.
Oh, of Notre Dame?
Yep.
Oh.
And Rach's favorite. Striptease.
How much did it make in VHS sales? Because I had it, you had it, my grandma had it. Like, how much just of that?
Raked it in. I don't know. Crazy amounts. It makes I already said it makes $306 million overall. It finally does lose in week 5 to a summers off movie that I think this will come out in the sense that the listeners will know it's the next movie that we're doing. Or if they don't, hey, good job being on the ball. You're going to get a little sneak peek at week 3. What movie do we do week 3?
I don't want to say.
No, go ahead. Say it.
Am I allowed to say?
Yeah.
A time to kill.
A Time to Kill beats this in its week 5. So it rules the roost for 4 weeks. I've got a shit ton of tags for you.
Okay.
You tell me your favorite.
I'll give you a thumbs up or down, but I'll do it verbally.
Yeah, sounds good.
Okay.
Just do it, like a yay or a nay.
Yeah.
We've always believed we weren't alone. On July 4th, we'll wish we were.
No.
These extraterrestrials don't want a phone home. They want our home.
No.
On the 4th of July, you'll have a ringside seat for the ultimate fireworks show.
No.
Don't make plans for August.
Maybe.
And then here's the last one. On July 2nd, they arrive. On July 3rd, they strike. On July 4th, we fight back.
No.
So it's Don't Make Plans for August.
I think it's Don't Make Plans for August. Which one did you like the best out of those ones?
I like the last one.
Yeah. It's a lot. It's a lot for a tag. All
yeah.
of those.
Well, okay. What would you have the tag be?
We will not go quietly into the night.
Oh, very good. I like it.
That's it.
So, critics, Rotten Tomatoes, you want to take a guess?
I think the audiences adored it, and I think the critics were like, what is this hobnob garbage?
So, what do you think the audiences were?
Audience was 85%.
Okay. And what was critics?
It's 52.
You got to meet in the middle for both of these.
All right, very good.
The critics were 68%.
Oh, okay.
The audience was 75%.
Okay.
Consensus.
Yeah.
The plot is thin, and so is the character development. But as a thrilling, spectacle-filled summer movie, Independence Day delivers. Here's a couple of the reviewers. The San Fran Chronicle says, the apotheosis of sci-fi movies. That means it's like, it's perfect.
The apotheosis.
It's divine. The apotheosis.
I'm going to start using that
of
more.
sci-fi movies.
I like it.
The movie review in UK says, gung-ho American jingoism. That means like nationalism, like bullshit.
American jingo?
Jingoism.
What's jingoism?
Yeah.
What are all these words?
I know, it's like they're nationalists.
Apotheosis and
and
jingoism. God.
And then the BBC says, a pompous soliloquy delivered in a mainstream Hollywood movie. The Brits did not like it. I saw multiple reviewers from the Brits that were like, this is just American nationalist garbage. And here's...
they would say that.
No.
They would say that.
I think there's something to this.
Yeah.
I think it's something to explore.
Oh, they're mad.
They're mad as hell.
They're still mad.
So, okay, what's the one moment that we see the Brits?
Oh, when they're in Israel or something,
Yeah.
thinking they're like, oh, the Americans have a plan. And he's like, it's about bloody time. And it's terrible. I did that accent.
Well, it's
terrible.
about bloody time.
It's not a good accent. It's got to be an
It's
American
like
guy.
so posh. It's like the most posh people
and it's
you're
all like
talking
they
about.
wouldn't be figuring it out. It's like,
Yeah.
nah, y'all gotta wait for us. We got the nukes. You gotta wait. You can't do anything.
Yeah.
It is
And
what it is.
so I think the Brits didn't like it because they weren't given a whole lot of airtime.
Mm-hmm.
And
not their
like
story.
really, we get like a stronger connection to the Jewish people than we do because we have like two characters that are Jewish.
Sure.
We see Israel a couple times.
Mhm.
We see them working with the Arabs and
Yeah.
stuff. Like they're like working
Mhm.
with their Islamic brothers. And
Mhm.
so it's interesting.
Yeah.
But the Brits were mad because this is a time where the British-American relationship is pretty strong.
Okay.
And I think they were like, hey, what the F?
You left us
What about
out?
us? So here's what's going on around that time.
They were so
This is after Iraq #1
Okay.
with H.W. Bush.
Yep.
Then there's Princess Diana time, and the
Mhm.
Americans are infatuated with Princess Diana.
Yep.
They feel really close around this time.
Mhm.
Kosovo is going to be right after this, where we're
Okay.
like the United Coalition going in, breaking up the Serbs and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And then there we have the Iraq invasion in the early 2000s, where we're
Sure.
super tight in that too. And so I think they're just super pissed that we left them out.
It's like our kid brother wants to keep tagging along. It's like, no, buddy, this is my time.
Yep.
This is my movie.
This is mine.
I don't think anyone's ever referred to Britain as our kid brother, if anything. That's not really what we are. We're technically their kid brother.
We became their kid brother who got really roided up. And he's like, yeah, this is, and he has to say, this is my big little brother. That's how they have to introduce us to their friends. They're like, yeah, this is my big little brother.
I think there's some hard feelings there.
Yeah, I think so too. And then we stole their girlfriend and stuff. The French.
Who's their girlfriend?
Hottie French girl.
That they beat.
Yeah, I know. They would always get in fights, but they'd always get back together. And finally, they're like, I've had enough. Can you do British or can you do French? You'd be like, I've had enough of you.
I've had enough of you.
Very good. This did win an Academy Award.
Score.
Nope. It won
Special effects.
It won a Grammy for the score.
Oh,
it won
hell yeah.
visual effects.
Yeah.
And it was nominated for Best Sound.
Oh.
I actually don't know if they gave out score at this time because I think it would have been nommed, but it's not. It's not in my
thought so.
stuff.
It's very patriotic.
Also won an MTV Movie Award.
Hell yeah.
Any guesses?
Will Smith, Best Actor of all time, according to MTV.
Nope. Best Kiss with Will and Vivica.
Oh, okay.
Which she said they're spicy. They had a spicy chemistry.
They had chemistry.
You want to watch them get in that bedroom? I know you
I
did.
thought they were cuties.
Yeah,
I
you
liked
did.
it.
So we just mentioned this about the Jews and the Arabs working together in the film.
Mhm.
Lebanon,
Mhm.
Hezbollah, they're super mad about this.
Oh,
And they
really?
don't want the film shown in their country. And so what they end up doing is they make a deal and they're able to cut out all of the Jewish stuff. There's a prayer that happens, the moment where they're coming together.
yeah.
They're like, nope, we're not coming together.
None of that. Even at the
None
end
of
of our
that.
days, we've got maybe an hour left to live as a society. That's a bullshit. We would never.
We would never.
Yeah.
So
that makes a lot of sense.
They edited that all out, and so then they're able to show this movie still to their people.
Good Lord.
Yep.
And that's why we are.
And it's
where
funny
we are.
because they said it was Jewish propaganda, and Jeff Goldblum's like, I don't think they watched the movie because he grew up Jewish, but he's not really practicing. He's like, I don't think they really watched the movie. It's about everybody coming together, from all over the place.
Yeah. Yeah.
So what are we talking about? But
I don't
anyways, this movie does get lambasted.
Oh.
It gets major critiques about how it treats Jews, gays, and alcoholics.
Oh.
Thoughts?
I don't know. It's kind of like the human condition. Some of those pieces,
Yeah.
and I don't mean that in a negative way, but I don't know.
I don't know.
I'm not any of those things, so it's not really one for me to pass judgment. But I thought people were more or less represented, not in a not in an off way.
Yeah, I mean,
know.
what would for the gay?
Who's the gay person?
Harvey Firestein?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know.
It didn't seem that bad.
He's himself. He's what he is in every
Yeah,
other
I'll
thing.
be honest. It's exactly what I
that's just
saw
what
in
he
Mrs.
sounds
Doubtfire.
like. That's
so
who
I don't
he
know.
is.
But I guess we are another population. Maybe there's something we're missing.
Maybe.
The one I don't understand is the alcoholics one. I don't like how it treats alcoholics. What a criticism.
That's not a protected group.
Yeah, I agree. It's I can kind of say whatever I want about alcoholics. They've got an issue.
Yeah.
I don't know. It was
Do
bizarre.
not put yourself in the same group as the Jews and the gays.
Yeah,
That's
absolutely.
Not quite
That's a prejudiced group, and I don't think the alcoholics belong in the same
Yeah.
sentence. I do have a question though. Is this a nationalist movie? Is this a globalist movie? What is this
I get
movie?
the sense of it being more global.
Okay.
I mean,
Even though there's
is
all the
it
American flags and all the.
it takes place in America,
Yeah.
and we're awesome. And let's not pretend who's gonna bring it down. It's gonna be us.
Yeah,
'Cause
and
we got the nukes.
What I will say is, this was made at a time where you felt a lot of pride in your country. In the mid '90s, I remember being a kid and being like, "We're the best."
Yeah, we
We're
were.
awesome.
We probably weren't number one in anything, but we felt number one in a lot
we
of
did.
things.
We did. Yep.
So yeah, we were our cockiest cock
Yeah.
at this time.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
I would say the '80s probably the cockiest we ever got.
Yeah.
After
Sure.
towards the end of the Cold War.
Yeah.
But it felt like in the '90s we were
We
still
were
pretty
still
cocky.
pretty cocky.
We didn't
pretty
really
cocky
get.
country.
We didn't start to get a little humble until the 2008 financial crash.
That humbled us.
Yeah.
big time.
Iraq and the financial crash, we were like, oh,
Yeah,
what's going on here?
we are not number one.
Well, let me ask you this question. This is deep.
Oh, okay,
Get ready for it.
I'm ready.
Is this an anti-immigration movie?
No, It's not an
It's
anti-immigration
like
movie.
outsiders, like keep them out of here.
No, they're wanting war. They start
Hey,
trying
I'm
to.
just asking the questions, babe. I'm just
They
asking the
send
questions.
the welcome wagon,
I
and the
didn't say it
welcome
was.
wagon gets blown up. So no, it's not anti-immigration. It's anti-extinction.
So there you go. Our conservative fans, we keep it neutral. We talk about both sides. It's not anti-immigration. We're
It's not
saying-
anti-immigration.
Yeah, this is good.
No, America's awesome,
It's America's awesome movie.
as we knew, and continue to
Confirmed.
know. Confirmed. We're the best. Woo.
I wonder how many people died in this movie. Because, like,
Oh,
we...
in the cities?
Yeah, there's, like, what? Did they say 13 ships or 9 ships or something like that?
Something like that come in.
And they blow up all
go
the
to, like,
big
major
cities. We lose D.C., New York, and L.A.?
Yeah, those are our first
We
three.
lose 3.
We use 3.
I'm sure London's gone. Paris is probably
London.
gone. Shanghai, Tokyo, Moscow.
Those are the big ones. Somewhere in India.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Mhm.
And so, like, 9 cities get toasted.
Mhm.
And then they're moving to their next locations, aren't they?
Yeah.
And we intercept them before they get to the next spot.
Yeah, I would say hundreds of millions, if not just under a billion.
Yeah, I want to say like 1 billion died.
Yeah, maybe a billion.
Yeah.
Let's say 1 billion.
1 billion gone.
First day, July 3rd.
Wow. July 2nd.
July 2nd, 1 billion.
Well, they might have arrived on July
I
2nd.
think we don't need
Do they-
sparse hairs on
Do
this.
they open the cannons till July 3rd? I don't know. There's that countdown happening.
Yeah.
Which I forgot all about the countdown, by the way.
What do you mean?
I didn't remember that Jeff
Oh,
Goldblum cracks the code and is like, it's a countdown. I didn't remember any of that shit.
You didn't watch it enough.
Apparently.
That's all I remember.
I
And then the
swear.
plane taking off and the flames licking its heels as it gets into
Yeah,
the air.
which is so ridiculous. Okay, there's so many moments where it's like we got to get out of here, and people are so slow.
Yeah.
Number one, they land on a tarmac, and then they're going to another airplane, Air Force One, and then they're going to take off. Everybody's sauntering over there. Nobody's in a rush. Nobody's running. Nobody's even walking briskly.
Yeah, we got
They're
20
just-
seconds, people.
They're just like slowly walking, even though they know about the countdown. Some people don't know about the countdown. These guys know.
Yeah.
And then his wife in the helicopter,
Mm-hmm.
they're like, "Hey, we gotta go," and she's like, keeps pausing to look over at this building top, and she's like, "What's going on over there? What's gonna happen?" And then she ends up
concerned.
getting like internal bleeding. She's the only one who survives this helicopter crash, which is absolute bullshit. She would have totally been
Well, she
toasted.
dies. She doesn't survive it. She
But-
dies from
but
her injuries.
What happened to everybody else on that helicopter? There's like,
Roasted. Boom, roasted.
but she survived.
Maybe she's in a really special chair. Did you ever think of that? Did you ever think that Air Force One has maybe special chairs that are really protecting of certain
But
people?
they can only protect one person in each. In
Well,
that
I mean,
craft.
1 or 2, but it's like
Okay.
in the back seat, the passengers are the most important people, so maybe she was just in the right spot.
Yeah, could be.
Maybe.
But she wasted a ton of time.
She
Eh.
got everyone killed.
She did.
Yeah.
She has to own that.
Well, she's dead, so she doesn't have
Well, she had to own it before she went. So Spain also had problems with this movie.
Spain?
Yeah,
What
España,
do they
your
got-
old friends,
what do they gotta
your old
say?
colleagues.
What's up, Spain?
So Spain had an issue because they showed this commercial. This commercial for the preview was like at the Super Bowl halftime show. They showed like the thing going over the White House and said, "Are you ready?" or something like that. It was cool.
Ooh,
It was a really cool
goosebumps.
thing. Spain, they did the same kind of thing. They would put it over like landmarks in each country that they would advertise in. And so at different landmarks of Spain, they would have like an alien ship over top of it. And it said in the bottom, advertisement. But people must not have read it because then they all freaked out. They had a War of the Worlds like moment in Spain.
No,
And everybody is
Spain.
like calling the authorities and like running around and be like, "Oh my God, aliens are here. We just saw it on TV." And they're running around. And it became this huge, crazy thing. And like the publicity people for this movie have gone on record and they're like, "Yeah, I guess they don't know how to read the word advertisement over there. Like, I don't know what happened." It got crazy.
That's wild. That's really wild.
So there's some really big flicks that come out in 1996.
Mm-hmm.
Any guesses? Any big movies that you can think of that might have come out that year?
I mean, we probably have covered most of them in Summers Off. To one.
We actually, the 3 that
None
I've
of
written,
these?
we haven't done any of the 3.
Ghostbusters.
No, that was way earlier.
Okay. Gremlins 2.
No, that was also earlier.
Gremlins 2 was earlier as
Yeah,
well?
it was early 90s.
Oh, I give up.
The Rock, which is on our Summers Off list. You have not seen
That
it.
is not a big movie that I should need to know that was in 96. Come on.
How dare you?
Hit me with something else.
How dare
I'll tell you
you
if it's good enough to know or not.
Mission Impossible 1.
Okay, yes, you got me there.
That's not bigger than The Rock.
Yes, it is.
The Rock is way better.
There is not. We're not making The Rock 6 right now, is what I'll say.
Because it was so good, you only needed one. The Rock is tremendous.
Okay.
Oh, we have some Mission Impossible fans in our friend group.
Mm-hmm.
I'd be curious because they also love The Rock.
They don't. I'm going to tell you right now. You can ask them. They don't love The Rock more than they love in Mission Impossible.
I think the newer Mission Impossible movies, they would say yes. But the first one, I don't know, Rach.
First one's so good. There's
No,
no
The
way.
Rock is better.
No.
The Rock is better.
Maybe, but it's not.
It is.
Most people would say no.
And then Twister.
Oh, Twister. I was supposed to get Twister.
Yeah.
And that's what you wanted me to guess?
Yeah, for sure. 96. Duh.
I think we're talking about like classic, like 90s
What would that be?
or 80s films. I don't know, but something. I keep thinking of 80s films. I only have 80s films in my head, but like something that's at the level of like Back to the Future, like something iconic.
That's the 80s.
I know, something like that, but the 90s version.
What's that? What would that
I
be?
don't know. I don't know.
Sandlot?
Was that 90s?
Yeah, but
That
early
might-
90s.
Yeah. I don't know what's mid. Can't think of a single mid-90s movie to save my life right now.
I think Forrest Gump came out in 94.
Well, there you go. That would be at that level.
You don't think Twister and Mission Impossible and The Rock are really big movies?
Only one of those. Only one of those.
Just Mission Impossible?
Mm-hmm.
Whoa, that's your favorite out of those three movies?
I didn't say that, but that's like
Okay,
the most like popular.
You
that's
have never
like a
seen
big
The Rock,
movie.
but rank those two movies. Mission Impossible and Twister. Which is better?
I do love Twister. I'll go Mission Impossible first and then Twister second.
The first Mission Impossible is my favorite Mission Impossible. It's really good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But The Rock is clearly the best of those three. And Twister is number 2, a close between 2 and 3. But The Rock is heads and tails above both those movies.
We'll find out.
Yeah, we will. You haven't even seen it. You can't even say. It's so good, Rage.
I can't wait to eat my words.
Yeah, I can't either. And so this movie beats all those movies.
Mm-hmm.
And becomes the highest grosser of 1996. Becomes the second highest grossing movie ever.
At that time?
Ever.
Whoa.
Do you know what the highest grosser was?
At that time?
Yep.
E.T.?
Nope. Close, though.
Jurassic Park?
Got it.
Mm.
So it doesn't beat Jurassic Park,
Okay.
but sits in that second spot.
Mhm.
But a year later, Titanic beats both of them.
Gosh, I forget that Titanic is technically a 90s movie. I feel always think of it as like an early 2000s, but it's 97.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, 4th grade for us.
Yeah, 4th grade.
Yep.
Hmm.
I went to it in the theater.
I know. You're wild. That you should not have. It's rated R. There's
My
no-
mom wanted to see it so bad, though.
That she decided to like not get a babysitter and take your ass?
Yeah, exactly.
Lucky.
Well, I feel like a lot of kids in my grade had seen it already, though.
Yeah, they did.
So I was just gonna feel left out if I didn't.
I had to wait until VHS.
It was like the equivalent of getting a cell phone at an early age. I got to see movies I probably shouldn't have seen at an early age.
That was yours.
That was my cell phone. Yeah. Yep. So the whole virus deal, that's a nod to War of the Worlds.
Oh, okay. Is
Which-
that how that gets
Have you
solved?
seen the War of the Worlds that Spielberg did in like 2005 or
with
whatever?
our boy Tom?
Yep, with Tom
yeah,
Cruise.
I have seen it, but I don't remember the virus
Really
part.
good movie.
Yeah, Dakota Fanning, little baby.
Yeah, so eventually what happens in that movie is like the bacteria and the atmosphere start to break down the aliens' defenses and they end up like getting sick and dying.
Oh.
And before they could take over the country. It's like we were saved by our own world.
Our own diseases.
Yeah, yep,
Oh,
that we've come to live
Is
with.
that the original too? Is that?
Yeah,
That's
and
how it ends?
Well, I don't know. I can't speak to the HG.
Sorry, you don't
well,
have to.
No, it has to be. It has to be because that's what they stole from H.G. Wells, where it's this environmental virus that stops the invaders. Well, they're like, how about we make it a computer virus?
Yes.
What do you think about that choice?
I love that choice. I legitimately was like, that makes sense to me. Yeah, simple.
Yeah.
Give it a cold. I love
Give it a cold.
Uh-huh.
We got to give it a cold.
A cold.
Yeah, a cold.
What'd you say?
We got to give it a cold.
Where did Jimmy Stewart come from?
Oh, yeah, I'll put a last one out. Independence Day Resurgence.
Yeah, it is part 2, right?
Part 2.
Yeah.
What do you know about it? What do you love about
I
it?
don't know that I've ever seen it.
We're going to watch it.
I'm excited, and I am a little sad that we didn't watch it before this.
Oh, really?
I mean, it would have been nice to like talk about it a little bit, but that's okay.
Yeah.
Like, I'll just say that for me, you know?
So that movie did awful. Flopped real hard
Yeah.
in 2016.
Do that.
Had no Will Smith, Will Smith wanted to do After Earth with Jaden, which he won a Razzie for.
Oh, yeah.
And that just tanked as well. So it wasn't a good move in hindsight. But I think he was just kind of sick of doing sci-fi stuff.
Sure.
Even though After Earth is also sci-fi, which is kind of funny. And the Independence Day sequel just kept getting delayed throughout time. And it had been 20 years. And it was just kind of like, that movie is a 90s movie. It was what it was. I don't think we need another one. And so the public didn't really care about it. There wasn't.
I agreed.
It's a CGI fest.
Yeah.
Has a similar thing that like the first one does. It like the consensus on Rotten Tomatoes is like, this movie has no character development. The story sucks. It's just a big CGI fest like the first one was.
Well, now I'm not looking forward to watching it.
Well, it only got a 29% on Rotten Tomatoes, and even the audience was only a 30-something%. So it's gonna be fun. We're gonna
we'll
do
have it in the background. Maybe.
Well, it's a background movie, I think, for us. Yep, but we will check it out. Rach,
Yeah.
what did you have? Anything I missed?
Let's see. Will Smith hottie, Jeff Goldblum hottie. They saved the dog. We had watched a movie where a horse just died recently, and so I was really pleased to see that the dog survived.
That's a hook for a later episode in this season.
Yeah, think about
a
it.
movie where a horse dies.
Yeah, it's tragic. It's really tragic. Honestly, tell me about the dolphin ring.
Oh yeah.
Tell me about that.
So that weird little dolphin ring that Will Smith gives Vivica.
Yeah, his engagement ring.
He's like, yeah, she likes dolphins.
Yeah, she's got a thing for dolphins.
That
it's totally normal.
Dolphin ring. The people who made that saw their sales skyrocket after this movie. God. People wanted to go get a dolphin
such a trash ring.
It looks awful.
It's so bad, but awesome. Good for them. Did you feel like the Secretary of Defense maybe was an alien at one point? Because he kept like poo-pooing everything, all the other ideas that weren't his. He was like, no, that'll never work. We just gotta use nukes. And I don't know. He just like.
And really, the nukes were just killing because the aftermath would fall on our own citizens and stuff.
He seemed like he had something to gain from all of this.
That's a real X-Files like take.
That's Twilight. I can't think of the X-Files. How do you sing X-Files? Yeah, it's one of those impossible things.
I started singing Nightmare on Elm Street.
I was singing Twilight Zone. What is X-Files?
What is it?
I can kind of hear it, but kind of not. That's one of those impossible things to sing.
No, it's not. It's really
impossible.
not impossible.
It's
not Friday
impossible.
Night Lights. Do the Friday Night Lights theme. Oh my gosh.
It's like a whistle.
I can hear it in the back of my mind.
Yeah.
I keep going to Nightmare on Elm Street.
It's hard. Listeners, try.
Yeah,
try
you
on your
just
own.
try.
It's really hard. See what you can do.
You just try.
I bet you can't do it.
Especially after we gave you all these different themes. You can't do it anymore, can you?
I bet you could, but now you can't.
If you had it, you have it. But if you don't, you're never going to get it now. Rach, what's your favorite scene or part of the movie?
Oh, so many parts. I like when Will Smith and Jeff Goldblum are chumming it up in the spaceship, waiting to die. I think that's kind of fun.
Yeah.
It's fun dialogue there.
Mm-hmm.
I like when Vivica drives around the big truck and like gets everybody aboard and saves everybody. I think that's pretty cool. Yeah, lots of good stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be honest. Both the parts you pointed out, I feel like most of our listeners wouldn't say because they're not like actiony moments. But I like it.
This isn't an action movie for me. There's so much more to this.
What is this movie to you then?
There's so much more.
Like what? Sell us on it.
Well, I mean, it is action. There's so much like behind the scenes goings on.
Yeah.
And there's like a battle scene a couple of times with the flights and
I'll be honest, those battle scenes are kind of lame.
Yeah, and maybe it's okay because they're short and sweet.
They are short.
And it's more about like the diplomacy that needs to take place, or like the behind the scenes planning that needs to take place for these. Like, we spend a lot of time talking about the virus and how that's going to work, or we spend time talking about how we're going to line up the other countries, and so we're all battling at the same time. And then, well, we also have these romantic stories happening in the background too. I love the wedding scene where
With Buckwheat?
Yeah, where Will and Vivica get married right before he's going off. But then Jeff Goldblum and his ex-wife are there together.
They kind of make amends.
And he still wears his ring, and it's been 3 years, and he has it on still, and they kind of like hold hands, and like she's in love with him again. And
That's a sweet moment.
I think that's
and a
really
cool shot
sweet.
too.
It's a really cool
you can
shot.
see them on the altar past the hands united together.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, that's a really neat shot.
Yeah, so
I like that a lot.
there's more to this movie than meets the eye, I think.
I think most people though just watch it for the punching aliens. Welcome to Earth, botch.
I mean,
that's the kind of stuff they
that's
love.
not fun. It's like Killer Clowns in some ways. Like,
sure.
It's fun. You stay for the laughs.
Uh-huh.
But there's heart to it too.
Yeah. Thanks for saying there's heart in Killer Clowns.
You're welcome.
I totally agree. There's a lot of heart in Killer Clowns.
There is some heart in Killer Clowns.
A lot.
Enough.
Tons.
Enough for it to be a great
Crazy
movie.
amounts. It's pretty much Pearl Harbor.
Crazy. So what?
Yeah, seriously, because that's the meat of Killer Clowns is the triangle love story between the two
and
guys.
you would say
and you don't know
the
who
same
she's
for-
going to end up with because she's like, I don't know. She's kind of in love with both of them. Yeah, it's tricky.
It's a throuple in the making.
Yeah,
That's
for
what it
sure.
is.
Yep.
Just like Pearl Harbor.
What'd you think of the acting?
That was great. I loved everybody.
No
I thought
notes.
everybody came to play
Yeah.
and did their parts how I wanted them played.
Yeah.
I wouldn't change anybody. Who would you change in this?
I wouldn't change anybody, but I do feel like even Jeff Goldblum has some weird moments. I think everybody's kind of like a 6 or a 7 out of 10. Like nobody's super great, except for I get annoyed with Randy Quaid. But like,
yeah, he gets a little annoying for sure.
but everybody
only one.
else kind of hits their parts really well. And so yeah, I don't know. Like I don't think I'd replace
I think
anybody.
everybody does a good job.
Yeah.
Like everyone does their job.
There's a 9-minute scene that got deleted that explains all this weird shit about like how we have alien technology that's been reverse engineered for this virus and all this stuff like that Jeff Goldblum has like discovered while he's been at this Area 51 sighting, and he's reverse engineering all this alien tech and all this stuff. And people were just like swimming in like backstory, and they're like, that's really convoluted and messy.
Dumb it down.
And they're like, what if we just cut all that and we just let the audience just go along for the ride?
Yeah.
Absolutely the right choice.
So the right choice. It makes sense to me. I get it. I get the plan.
Yeah,
I
do
get
too.
why it works.
I don't need to know that there's like alien tech involved. I'm like, I'm
I
fine.
don't need to know any of that.
In fact, I kind of
assume
like it if
you
I
did
think
it.
that it's the humans figured out how to beat the aliens. It's like our virus.
Yeah.
It's our nuke.
Yeah.
It's all our stuff.
Yeah.
And all we had to do was take their ship, Trojan horse style, get up there in the mothership,
Yeah, it's
and shoot it
classic.
off.
It's classic war story.
Got it. Odysseus. Nailed it. Achilles. Killed it.
America's awesome.
Yeah. Jeff Goldblum is like Odysseus, and Will Smith's like Achilles.
Okay. Yeah, we can do that.
Very fascinating.
Yeah, I love it.
Something
What's
to
your
think
favorite
about.
part? I'm assuming you have a favorite part because you love this movie.
One part I like because it's kind of a little frightening is the part in the laboratory. When they cut open the exoskeleton and it flies open, and then they cut open some gooey stuff, and then you see the little alien shoot out. And then there's the scene where the tentacles are wrapped around his neck, and almost like Killer Clowns with Officer Mooney, where he's pretending to be Mooney.
Yep.
There's a moment where the alien and the president, Pullman, they have a conversation, and I love that part.
That is a
Can there
really
be peace? No peace. What do you want us to do? Or whatever. It's like, die. Like, oh my gosh, this is cool. So I like that part a lot.
That is a good part. You see the hand moving on the table. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's very suspenseful. That's got 2 jumps in it, that part.
Yeah.
That part used to always get me. It still gets me a little bit to this day. Not like
Sure.
it used to, but those are 2 big jumps there.
No, you know what part got Rach, but not in like a got scared, but it just popped her, was when they shoot the nuke into the alien ship and they open the window or whatever and they're waving at the alien. They're like, hey, hi, or whatever. Rach is like, she's having like a grand chuckle.
LOL'd several times during this. did not laugh in my head. I did not smile to myself. I laughed out loud several times.
She was having a grand time.
It had been just long enough that I forgot how much I love this film.
Yeah, I could tell.
This is a good time, guys. Put it on right now. Save yourself. Don't do the commercials. You're going to ruin the pacing
don't.
of it.
If you have
put
Hulu,
it on for sure.
If you have Hulu, it's free.
Yeah, put it on
Go
Hulu.
watch it on Hulu.
Watch it uninterrupted. You can even have it in the background all day today on repeat.
And here's what
Do
I'll
it.
say. If you have to rent it, like for $5, you might as well just buy it. Just order it and you'll have it forever.
You need to own this
Yeah.
in some way, if digitally or VHS wise. You need to own this.
There was a part of me that kind of wanted to have bought it myself.
I kind of wanted you to have bought it yourself too.
Oh wow, you never sign off on purchases like this.
Well, it's not It's Independence Day. It's like
I'm gonna put it on
it's
your
like a
Christmas
piece
list.
of history.
I'm gonna put it on your Christmas list.
I'm not gonna stop you.
All right, should we hear your Rachel meter?
Okay, I'm ready for you. Kick the tires, light the fires, and rewatch
Absolutely.
this movie ASAP. It is the apotheosis.
Apotheosis. Divinely
of
perfect.
good movies. It's the good movie of good movies, I believe. I have this data. Are you ready?
Yep.
Drum roll, please.
No.
So good. There are none that sound like that.
Screamers.
Screechers. I have this in between Home Alone and My Girl.
Okay.
So
it's above My Girl.
It's above My Girl. It's just under Home Alone.
Okay. This is a very good company, by the way.
Mm-hmm. It's like breaking up my little Macaulay Culkin love fest there.
Yep.
With Independence Day at an 89%.
89%.
89%.
Wow. Well,
Read it and weep, babies. I love this movie.
I love it. I love that you love it.
Yeah.
And I'll be honest, just talking to you about it makes me feel warmer and fuzzier about it. I'll be honest, when I watch it, I like think it's entertaining mildly, but I don't think it's like it doesn't stick with me. And it's gonna always be a channel turner for me, like almost always. I won't even stop to watch it. This is
Okay, you don't have to like say that much about it. Like,
this is a 55%. It's tied with Top Gun. Both airplane movies.
Interesting.
Lots of airplane battles.
Not your favorite battles.
And it is below Titanic.
I think that's great company. Because I have those much
but
higher. on my
I know,
list.
but what do you think of the score?
Top Gun and Titanic. Yeah, that's great. What do I think of your score? Your score's garbage.
55%.
It's garbage, but
It's just barely rotten.
There's nothing rotten about this film. What would you change about it?
I would make, I don't know. I just think it could
People
be
want like the
cooler.
characters to be deeper. We don't have time for that. We have to explain the virus.
Yeah.
We don't have time for arcs. Not everyone can have an arc. You just gotta know that people are gonna grow a little bit. It's 3 days.
I know.
It's a worldwide problem.
It's just a fluff piece.
Oh, it's not. There's nothing fluffy about this
Yeah,
film.
it is.
This film is awesome. It's not fluffy. It's not cuddly. It's not fluffy. It's a good time. Welcome to Earth.
Bodge. Yeah, I don't know. I can't explain it. It just feels like it's a little bit of a time waste, but like it's entertaining. I did not enjoy myself.
I'm glad you double negative didn't enjoy yourself.
So I positively enjoyed myself.
I'm glad you enjoyed yourself.
But I just will never reach for it.
Yeah. I mean, I haven't, and that's what made it so good because I hadn't seen it in forever.
Yeah.
So it's good.
I mean, maybe the more we talk about it, maybe it's higher than Top Gun. It might be higher than Top Gun, but it still is below Titanic. I would reach for
Titanic's a great
Titanic
film.
over this, especially that first half of Titanic.
Gosh, first
Half's great.
VHS is
Second
great.
VHS, can you throw it in the trash? First VHS,
Once that boat goes
excellent.
down, I'm out.
I
I'm
am too.
skedaddling that
It's just a
story.
waste of time.
It's just sadness.
It's taking forever.
I do not need it in my life. I don't need that negativity
I
around
really,
me.
I really could just see like a highlight reel of the second VHS. I want to see the guys playing music while the ship's going down. I want to see him not on the door, and I want to see him freeze to death.
I bet
And I want to see her throw the necklace in the ocean. Boom, done. That's really all I need for
all
that
you
second
need. Honestly,
VHS.
if even that, I bet someone has thrown away their second VHS because they just want it to be a happy movie.
Yeah.
They're like, I'm done with this. I don't want to see how it ends ever.
First VHS is quality stuff, though.
Oh.
Well,
hey,
Hey.
happy 4th of July,
Rach,
everybody.
what do you want everybody to do besides, like, what should they do while they watch this movie? What libation should they have? What food should they have to celebrate
your
the 4th of
favorite
July?
4th of July
And
stuff?
what fireworks should they shoot off?
Okay. Well, not the screamers. I don't like the screamers, especially after a certain time. It's like, okay, that's enough.
Okay.
It's enough of those. I do like the ones that look like a willow tree when they come down. They're very
Oh, sure.
sparkly
Yeah,
all the way down.
yeah.
They're very nice. Those are great.
Mhm.
Those are my faves. You should grill something. Hopefully it's not too hot, but
'Kay.
something grilled, burger,
What do you-
hot dog.
Yeah, okay.
Burger or hot dog. Have both. Have one of each.
Yeah, have one of each, I
Don't
think.
shortchange yourself today.
Yep, not today.
Yeah.
That's what July 5th's for.
That's what July 5th's for. Lots of salads that are mayo based. I would
Yep.
say you need
Like potato salad, you
potato
think?
salad, pasta salad,
Yep.
any salad.
Deviled eggs.
Whoa, yes,
Have some deviled eggs.
Have some fruit pizza.
Yeah.
Fruit
have
pizza
some fruit
today
pizza.
feels so patriotic. I love a fruit pizza on
That's
the
a
4th
great
of July.
dessert.
If it looks like a flag, bonus points for you.
Yeah, for sure. That sounds great.
Yeah, that's what I plan to do today.
Oh, very cool.
All those things.
And then what libations would you suggest for them?
Oh, something light. I mean, you could go the classic choice beer, but I picked something light because you're probably gonna be outside playing yard games.
You
of
are.
some sort.
You are going to be outside. You're going to need to be hydrated, so you're going to have a lot of them.
Yeah, honestly, like this might be, I don't know, faux pas, but I would say go margarita.
Oh,
I
yeah.
would say get a little Cinco de Mayo in there
I
and
like
throw that
it.
into the 4th.
Yeah.
Because
Well, let's
this
celebrate other
is-
people, too.
Exactly. That's what this country is. America
Yep.
is awesome. Have a margarita.
Yeah.
Because you can.
And sorry for our Juneteenthers, which is all of us, but
This is
like
true.
we
This is
didn't, we hadn't started the podcast up yet. Otherwise, we would have celebrated that as well. But we had a great celebration on that day as well.
We were in the airport that day, weren't we?
Yeah, we were coming home, but we were thinking about how great the new holidays are. And then I would say that you should definitely shoot off some parachutes.
Those
Because
are
then you get to
fun.
chase them
And you
down in the
try to catch 'em
neighborhood
and then they're
and
hot.
hope that they don't fall into a tree. That will happen.
Always a good time.
And then when it gets dark enough, have some tank battles.
Tank battles, good times. Yes, I love getting the random pack of firecracker stuff, like this the garbagey stuff, like your
Yeah.
tanks, your cars, your black cats, all of that. And then you can either each take turns lighting one off at a time. You can do tank battles. You can do smoke bomb battles. All the battles you can do. Just find some concrete you don't care about and go to town.
One thing that I used to do as a kid, and then Rach and I even did at our last house, is we do sparkler runs. And so you light a sparkler and you try to run all the way around the house and get back to the starting point again before your sparkler
Before the
goes out.
sparkler runs out. It is trickier than it sounds.
It is.
Depending on how big your yard is.
Most of the time you make it, but sometimes you don't.
Sometimes you
pretty
get
fun.
shortchanged. Yep.
Yeah.
That sounds fun. Let's do that too.
Yeah. Well, happy 4th of July, everybody.
Yeah.
Regularly scheduled program will drop soon enough, but we appreciate you taking this little detour for this little Independence Day spectacular.
Bye.